Welcome to my second part of the video where we build a wall with pillars, retaining wall with pillars. These are the bricks I'm going to use. These are called the flagstone wall, and then the color is tranquil, and you can get them from the Home Depot or Lowe's. I got them from Lowe's for $2.38 per block. And they match really well with the Holland charcoal gray pavers that you can also get at Home Depot or Lowe's. These are like 56 cents a block in 2021. I have several blocks in my truck. There's 140, I'll probably need another pallet's worth. But this is what I'm gonna use to stick everything together. If you watch my first video of when I laid these pavers, I flattened everything out really well. So the ground is already pretty well flat around the sides here and level. There might be a little bit of a tilt, and that's okay if there's a little bit, you just don't want a ton. So I'm just gonna lay them right flat onto the ground here because I already have the ground prepared, and please watch my first video to see how to do that. I put the first 2 layers of bricks down, and I didn't use any adhesive because I wanted to be able to create the pattern, and if I use adhesive it's going to get kind of sloppy, and you don't really need adhesive on the first few layers because the weight of the bricks that are going to go on top are going to keep those from moving around. And also I did backfill. I put dirt back and stuffed it. You kind of almost have to stuff it down inside here. It's easier to do the backfill one layer at a time, so do another layer and then backfill, because if the bricks are way up here, it's really hard to get dirt behind them once it's really high. So start backfilling as soon as you can after each layer. And now I'm gonna start with the 3rd layer and start using the adhesive. So once again, this is the adhesive that I'm using, and it's meant for going in between bricks on retaining walls outside. So it was perfect, and it's waterproof. Just spread about that much out. And then of course you're going to want to stagger the bricks. And now that I have another layer on, I'm just going to go through and backfill so that I can reach everything. Jam it down inside there. Just dabbing an entire row at a time now that I got the system going. Okay, I made it to the top level of bricks, and now I need to cut the sides here, and I'm gonna put these little pillars on the ends, and that's how I've been marking them. You got to try to make cuts that are nice and straight up and down so that this column or pillar can go flat up against it. So I'm going to be cutting this off of this. You can kind of see how I did that, and I'm cutting it with, I'm going to cut it with this. This is a 7-inch diamond blade, and be very careful with these. There's the glue. Some adhesive on the sides and the bottom, that same adhesive I've been using. And here's the first pillar. These are just sitting here, they're not held in place, but I did glue these with that adhesive, and they're solid, and I will use the same adhesive for these, but I just wanted to set these here to kind of use it as a guide to go straight up, but then I'll take this whole thing apart and then glue it up. And now I'm working over here on this side. Once again, I'm kind of using this as a guide, and I'll build it up, dry fit it, and build it up and cut the pieces alongside it like this. And I'm going to cut this other piece that's going in right now. I marked it with a line where I need to cut it. I already cut underneath And now I needed to flip the brick over so I could cut this part, because this won't cut all the way through. This is a 7-inch diamond blade. Okay, here's the piece that I just cut for that, and I put some adhesive down because I do want this to get set in place right away. And notice how it's pretty flush with the side of that brick, and then I'll dry fit another layer up, and then I'll use that other layer to set the other brick on so I can cut that, and I'll do that all the way till I get to the top. So once again, see, these are not connected. I'm just sitting them there with no glue to guide, give me a straight line, a level line up and down. And that's of course where I'm going to make a line and cut it. Okay, I am just dry fitting this pillar now before I start gluing it together. When I start laying down these bricks, I'm going to use that same adhesive. And I'm gonna draw a couple lines there, but you want to make sure you get some adhesive on this wall as well while you're stacking them, so that the bricks and the wall, the pillar and the wall, are connected. And you'll also want to put a bead of adhesive on the sides where it's going to touch up against the other brick. To be safe, as you build up, just make sure everything's looking level on these two sides, because they'll be level on the other side, of course, if there's level on one side. So this pillar over here, that one was level, really easy to install. This one over here, I did need to put some shims underneath the corner there and clamp one section together, but other than that, it's level and plumb. And I do have the pillars sticking past a little bit on both sides, about the same amount of overhang. And this is what it looks like so far. Gotta clean some of the dirt out of the bottom. Thank you for watching my video thus far. I have a part 1 where I do the patio part, and then I have a part 2 where I show on how to do this wall. So please watch that video as well.